The end is in sight, everyone, on Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Devin, joined as always by my co-hosts, Lauren and Bruce, and I've said the end is in sight at, like, the penultimate or a couple episodes away from it episode of, like, every series we've covered.
I mean, it's not wrong. The end is in sight.
Indeed. We are working here through Fleetway Sonic, and we are finishing off Amy and Tekno's outer space time adventures tonight.
Thank God.
Yeah, it hasn't been my favorite arc. It hasn't been my least favorite either, but that's not a high bar.
Not. Yeah.
I kind of agree, but we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it when we get to the end.
Yes, indeed. We're starting here with when in Romanus? I don't know how you say that.
That would be Romanus.
Stringer and Corona. Amy and Tekno are sent to the planet Romanus, a brutal ancient Rome-style empire where they are forced into gladiatorial combat. Gladiatorial.
Yep. Yeah.
Amy and Tekno show up and they've got appropriate clothing for some reason. Like, that'll help them blend in when they're a canary and hedgehog.
That's a good point.
They took away Tekno's cool boots.
They did.
But they don't have time to worry about that. They get captured by a shock net because despite looking like ancient Rome, this is an alien world with advanced technology. You can actually see frigging Secretary of the Emperor on a computer in the start here.
Yeah. Yep.
And yes, these soldiers are working for not Emperor Nero, but Emperor Zero.
Oh.
So, yeah, they wake up in the slave pits with the other detainees. They're like, yeah, we're gonna put you in a gladiatorial arena, fight for the Emperor's enjoyment.
You know, I have a mild issue with the fact that the planet's Roman themed. Why would an alien planet have a similar society to an Earth society?
I mean,
that's not the first time this comic has done weird coincidences like that.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's, you know, I'm thinking of the old story like, oh, we send TV signals out into space and they replicate whatever.
Yeah, but this is also a different dimension.
Well, and also, did we have many shows about living in the ancient Roman Empire? I don't know.
Not really.
We actually don't know if Romanus is in the Earth dimension.
Okay, that's true, actually. Dimension. That is a good point.
It's in the whatever dimension.
Might as well be.
Also, there's a giant energy dome around the whole Colosseum, because it turns out there's also rebels on this planet who don't want this to be happening.
Yeah, we've got some kind of civil war or something going on.
It's an odd plot point. It barely matters.
Really.
No, what matters is Amy and Tekno being told to choose their weapons to fight each other. Gasp! Amy versus Tekno! Oh my gosh, this is going to be such a big fight. No, it's not.
No.
It's actually kind of funny how quickly it goes poorly, because they try to like fake fight, right? So like Amy gently throws Tekno to the ground, and Tekno's like, I'll kick the crossbow from your hand. But then I guess she just, like, does it too well, because Amy doesn't get back up, and the Emperor's like, shoot her, or else I'll kill all the other slaves.
So, damn, I guess Amy dies.
Tekno does it? She shoots Amy?
She does.
All that's left is a burning pile of ash, oh my gosh.
Well, damn.
Classic tragedy, forced to kill her lover, tragic Yuri.
It's a total cheat, because...
Oh, it is, yeah.
It's... The part ends, and then the next part, it cuts back in time again to before the shot, for some reason.
Right.
And at first I thought, like, oh, they cheated, but then they just shoot again. I guess it's a bit of a recap.
I guess so, yeah.
Tekno shoots her twice.
Right,
that's
gotta be it.
Shoots the spot where Amy was, just to make sure.
Anyway, the Emperor brings out a big monster to kill Tekno now, because, yeah, of course. Also, Amy is obviously alive. You need not turn a single page to fucking see it.
Of course.
Apparently, Tekno was able to turn the gun into a teleporter.
What? In, the 30 seconds she had between choosing the gun and going out into the arena?
I think they said they had an hour, but still, it's ridiculous without spare parts.
It's still ridiculous.
She got a little help from Eve. Because Eve shot Robotnik and teleported him to the future. Okay, anyway.
Oh.
That was a lame reference. Anyway, yeah, Amy punches out the guard and opens the door for the other slaves, but they don't want to come until the robot guards and energy dome are gone.
So Amy just does it.
Yeah.
No weaponry on Amy, by the way, because she left her crossbow. Just punch him out, I guess.
Amy's just a Chad. She can punch out a damn robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we skip a page with Tekno fighting the beast that we don't care about. So, fair enough.
Well, actually, that is important because she makes use of the teleport gun and places the Lion Man in the Emperor's box.
And I have issue with this fight also. How does this teleport gun work? How does Tekno provide it with a location to teleport to?
She's psychic. Next question.
Okay, fair enough.
Tekno made this gun in an hour. It's the best gun you've ever seen.
Pretty much.
And it will never be seen again after this story.
Yeah, because something like this is something like this is way too overpowered.
Also, the Emperor gets arrested by the other guys, who I guess is the rebels. He just gets his clothes a bit torn up by the Lion Man, doesn't actually get mauled. That's depressing.
The Lion Man, he's a pushover, I don't know.
We have already spent too much time in this story. Amy and Tekno dematerialize from the next world. Let's move on.
Oh, yeah.
Next story.
Oh, yes, this one.
Next story. Dream on, Stringer and Flint. Amy and Tekno find themselves trapped in a nightmare belonging to someone else.
Well, you spoiled it. It's okay.
Damn, Devin, what the fuck?
She got the boots back. That's all I care about.
That's true. She does have the boots back.
I don't know why I suddenly care about this.
Yeah, okay, so it's a nightmare world, whatever. First of all, I really like the style. They make the backgrounds like all scratchy, kind of weird. It pops out from the characters.
The backgrounds looking like that kind of made me think they were going in like almost like a horror direction with this story.
I mean, they sort of are. This is a nightmare, but
they kind of they don't really go past surface level with that.
It's not scary. It's not Silent Hill. I do think that the scratchy look that does extend to the monsters here.
It does, yeah.
I more meant anything but the main characters.
Yeah, the main character, everything but the main characters looks just like a little off.
Yeah, I guess I made the nightmare thing clear too early. It's this guy's nightmare. This green alien man.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, it's Christmas, don't worry about it. And then Christmas is attacking them like that's never happened before.
Yep.
And Tekno instantly concludes, it must be that we've teleported into a nightmare. Like, okay, I didn't even know that was possible. And Tekno just deduces it right there.
Tekno's just like, yes, based off of these observations, we're in a nightmare.
Now things are beginning to make sense.
They're beginning to make sense now, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, they literally are inside this guy's bad dream, and he's in anguish about Christmas because he lost his job and can't buy presents for his kids.
They almost do something interesting here because Amy's like, well, we better wake him up from his nightmare. And Tekno's like, no, because then we'll disappear. And I'm like,
interesting, yeah.
But it doesn't actually matter.
I mean, that's the first rule of dreaming. If you die in a dream, you die in real life.
Right. Because they kind of just talk to him, and they're like, nah, don't worry, your family loves you. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he wakes up, and they're fine because the Ring of Eternity just grabs them, which, like, he probably would have done that either way.
Yeah, this goes from feeling like kind of like horror to a therapy session.
Yeah, basically. I was gonna say Psychonauts this ain't, because I really like the idea of exploring mental worlds to get your head around a character's personality and history. But this guy is just like, he's upset about Christmas, they tell him it's fine, and then it is.
He's like, okay. Yeah, and then it's okay.
My question is, Tekno and Amy go, like, save worlds and stuff, but what is this one dude? Why is he so important? Like, is he going to go on to do something incredible? Like, that it was important for Tekno and Amy to console this guy?
The universe must be a nice place if the Ring Eternity decided that this was the priority.
The Ring of Eternity just decided there's nothing else interesting going on.
And yet, dude wakes up and his kids are there with a job offer in his mail from Santa, I guess?
I mean, cool, Santa, I appreciate it, but, like, could you give me the Xbox 360 I asked for?
Well, hold on. He wanted a job. It's just, what do you mean a job? How do you get a job offer from Santa Claus?
Santa was scrolling on Indeed.com for him.
I guess, because it's not a job for Santa. I don't think.
Look, this is a Santa Claus that, like, can't be touched by evil beings. Like,
It's
they're
true.
just magic. They can do it.
Why is Santa Claus the strongest thing in these comics? No, headcanon. Sonic the comic is set in the same universe as Adventures of Sonic. This Santa is the previous Sonic who became Santa.
God.
Oh my gosh.
It's all connected. Anyway, let's fucking leave that place behind. Ring of Eternity sets them back on current day Mobius for some reason. I guess they want
Just
to
for
have a
Christmas
break.
celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, you even say you get a reward. Go celebrate Christmas.
I guess somewhere in there is Tekno helping Sonic out with the Trickster, maybe? Or maybe that's when Amy gets him back from Shanazar?
Maybe.
Maybe.
No, I think Amy... Well, doesn't Amy show up after they've already finished their quest?
That's what.
Oh,
that's
but
the
wait,
impression
then
I
why
got.
is Sonic here? Oh, shoot. The timeline makes no sense.
Yeah, the continuity's kind of falling apart here, guys.
You could probably make it work. I haven't checked when these things are set. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Let's move along. New Year out, Stringer and Dobbin. On New Year's, Amy and Tekno need to keep the nostalgia-addled incarnation of the year 1930 from entering the time stream and collapsing chronology.
That was an accurate summary, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
They took away the boots again.
That's the first comment you make, okay.
Amy's
That's the
also
only
dressed in
comment
her
that matters.
worst shade of vomit green for some reason.
Yeah, why is she in like a vomit green jumpsuit?
Looks
They
bad.
have so many different costumes.
They do, and that's why I don't know why she chose this awful one.
I kind of miss just like base Amy with the white shirt and the plaid skirt.
Yeah. Anyway, none of this matters. They enter the... what is this dimension? The timey-wimey dimension?
Sure, yeah.
I have no idea.
Giant clocks and anthropomorphized representations of years.
That's interesting.
So, like, I saw this, and I'm like, wow, the writers are, like, really getting creative with the settings. But I knew instantly they're not going to do much with it, though.
Oh, of course not.
Yes, 1950 and 1979, the years, tell them, we need help because the new year, 1999, the year all three of us were born, is supposed to enter the time stream, whatever that is, but 1930 is jealous and wants to do it himself.
So he summons Time Eater.
No,
Yeah,
this
basically.
is the Time Waster, which is the same thing, but even lamer. Which is impressive, because Time Eater is still
He's
among
already
the
kinda
lamer
lame.
Sonic villains.
The monster that can destroy time is somehow lame.
Both of them.
Both of them, yeah.
This thing is just a big lightning thing, and it wants to wipe the other years from history. Oh no.
I mean, what happens if one of these years dies? Does that year just disappear from history?
I think...
It already happened.
I'm gonna stick to that noise that I just made. That's my opinion.
All right.
So yeah, we have to distract the monster and go find 1930. So we see the time stream is just a big white wave of something, and 1930 is like, oh, things were so much better back in my day. He's got that mindset going. Which I don't know if I would describe 1930 in that manner.
No.
Like, whatever you think about that, apparently him doing this will just destroy time, so why would... Don't do that.
Nostalgia's a hell of a drug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but no... Nostalgia doesn't mean that you want to destroy the world, most of the time,
No, we
at
want to
least.
relive the 1930s.
Yeah, but you can't relive the 1930s by destroying time.
Even
But
in the moment that time folds in on itself, and they feel 1930 for a second, it would be worth it.
It'll be
than
worth
living
it.
in the present that is today.
Living in the hell that is 1999. Or 8, I guess.
Well, Amy doesn't actually engage with that part. She's just like, well, you know, it's a lot nicer having microwave ovens and a polio vaccine. And he's just like, all right then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would not work on someone who
No.
is actually obsessed with the good old days. They'd be like, nah, we had
No.
polio, we liked it.
Yeah, well, she probably would not have done well to, like, foreshadow the horrors of Nazi Germany or something. That probably would have been going too far.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Anyway, I don't know why I'm bringing this up. Baby 1999 enters the time stream, and so it's fine. The girls have teleported away just as anticlimactically as they arrived.
Of course.
Pretty much just as anticlimactically as always.
Yeah, basically. Let's move along here. Small talk. Stringer and Flint and Dobbin. I don't know who did what exactly. I think it's probably Dobbin on colors and Flint on lines? I don't know. Amy and Tekno have to stop a war from starting on a planet scaled much bigger than them.
Yeah, so I think the Ring of
Yeah.
Eternity has it out for these two. Because they don't inform them of like anything that's going to go on. And then
Sure
in
they
this
don't.
world, now I'll tell you that the Ring of Eternity has been established to have size manipulation abilities because it sent Amy to Shanazar, but it says, nah, I'm going to keep with their base size, and I'm going to teleport them in midair above a spider web.
You know, that's a good point. I never thought of that.
Maybe I can finally kill these bastards.
Why didn't it make them big for this?
It's a really good question.
No, you know what this is? This reminds me of the scrapped plotline from Archie Sonic with the corrupted source of all. Except this is just how the Ring of Eternity is.
Interesting.
Not saying that those things are connected, just a funny coincidence. Anyway.
Well, no. Yeah.
That would be way more interesting, but that's not what we're doing.
Yeah, Shrink episode. Also, it gave them different outfits again. Tekno's got the boots back, it's fine. They're tiny.
What really matters in the world.
Tekno's caught in a spider web, but Amy saves her. They touch down on some giant dude's giant desk. But, yes, this giant dude is a big fishman called Agent Skog, which is not the same as Skorg, which was the space race guy.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Right, different.
But he's still not good. He's aiding in some kind of war crimes by the sound of his call to his superiors.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just have to make him comically evil because they're like, I'm going to send you the weapon files so you can wipe out this peace-loving nation.
Yeah, it's like, I know writers who use subtlety and they're all cowards. Amy implies that whatever files he's receiving here could be for a nuke, I think, so...
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
It's always back to nukes with Sonic Comics, huh?
That is interesting.
It's writers who grew up in the 60s and 50s and 70s.
I get it. I get why.
Yeah, but anyway, we Tekno gets a rubber band catapult going to launch Amy at Skog, so we can distract him with violence.
Let's stop violence with more violence.
Amy looking very pink Sonic as she gets launched here, I might add.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, it's really weird, because she hits him in the neck and then starts, like, pulling on his collar. He doesn't turn to look at her, though.
Very focused on the call.
Apparently, yeah. But it's also weird, because, like, Tekno's jumping around on his keyboard, getting attacked by the spider again, trying to, sabotage his plans. And he's not looking at that either.
True, he's not.
It's like, if they were a lot smaller, that would be one thing. But, you know, it's like 6 inches tall.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I saw a little green canary bouncing around on my keyboard that's 6 inches tall, I'd definitely notice her.
They're about the size of some of the Sonic figures I have sitting on my shelf. I would definitely notice.
I was about to say, she's about the size of one of the shadows I have on my desk.
You know, clearly this guy is just an idiot because...
I mean, yeah, fair.
Because Amy shouts to Tekno, and then the guy's like, what? I'm hearing voices.
Yeah. She then whispers in his ear, pretending to be his conscience, Jiminy Cricket style. Not actually like Jiminy Cricket.
This would never work in real life. Like...
No.
And you can ignore your conscience, too, for that matter.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
But... Yeah, for apparently being able to build a nuke, this guy sure isn't smart. So he runs out of there... Amy saves Tekno again, and they're off.
She can't have her girlfriend being eaten by a spider.
Exactly.
The shrink gimmick is incredibly tired of this comic by this point. It's already a tired trope in general, but like this comic has done a lot with that.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it did do something really awesome with it, but it also has
Shanazar was cool. Shanazar was cool.
Yeah.
Anywho, the 13th Task, Stringer and Corona and Dobbin again. This looks more Dobbin than the previous one, though. Amy and Tekno's next stop is in ancient Greece with none other than Hercules, son of Zeus. And yeah, we did go to ancient Greece, like Amy said before.
Yeah, wow.
True. Yeah.
I thought that was gonna be an off-screen adventure, but yeah.
Yeah, we actually get to see that. That's nice.
Yep. And the ring changes their clothes again, and this one is kind of funny because it's like, oh, it gives them ancient Greek garb to fit in with the people here, only for the humans to immediately freak out at the giant neon bird and hedgehog anyway.
Yeah, I don't think the ring is thinking these through.
Yeah. Also, I guess this is real Earth rather than something imitating Earth.
Yeah, this is real Earth.
I think it is, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, definitely weird.
Because up walks Hercules like they're real, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess Hercules was just historical. Yeah.
Fat, stupid Hercules, I might add.
Yeah.
I thought at first he was brandishing a club here, but it's actually just a giant hunk of meat.
Yeah, I thought it was a club also.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Gosh.
And, yeah, I'm not just calling him fat and dumb to be like a shithead. He's really just not motivated to do much of anything. He's convinced that the girls are demons, but he's like, I can't fight you. I'm too busy being hungry.
Well, and to be fair, he's already done all 12 of his tasks. He doesn't need to do anything else.
No, he's got one more task, the 13th task.
Is that how the story of Hercules goes? That he finishes the ordeals and then he just chills out for the rest of his life?
Sort of.
Oh, okay. I actually don't know shit about Greek mythology.
He did the tasks because Hera wanted him dead because he's Zeus's affair baby.
Right.
Put a pin in that. We'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, Amy's like, we're not demons, we're women. And he's like, women, yes, make food for me. Because this comic is very on the nose with its portrayal of sexism.
Very on the nose.
But yeah, he does... He, along with Tekno's Wikipedia search, explained his whole ordeal about being half-god and doing tasks for...
Actually, excuse me, it wasn't Hera, it was a king. I don't remember his name.
He just says he has to do the tasks to get into Mount Olympus.
Which is also not accurate to the myth, by the way.
Yeah, well, it's whatever. Everybody makes up their own version of Greek mythology.
Yeah, I don't expect these to be like hyper accurate to the myth.
Yeah, but he can't do his last task because he's not valued by Zeus due to, I guess, being fat and stupid or something. I don't know.
We also don't know
Zeus
what the task
probably
is. No one told him.
Yeah. So he eats even more, and then the Minotaur shows up. That's not part of the Hercules myth.
Nope, it's not. To be fair, neither is Medusa, but apparently he killed Medusa at some point.
Yeah, that was Perseus, right?
Yep, that's Perseus.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Here's the Minotaur. Who fought the Minotaur?
Oh fuck.
In Hades, it's Theseus. I don't know if that's still true.
I believe it is Theseus.
Okay. Anyway.
Yes, it was Theseus.
The Minotaur easily beats up Hercules, so Amy and Tekno have to actually be the ones to beat him.
And then Hercules will take all the credit.
Well, he goes down...
Not really, actually. He doesn't.
Well, here's the thing. He goes down really easily. Tekno smacks the sword out of his hand. Amy punches him once, and he goes down.
True.
So I don't know. Maybe Hercules could have done that if he just had a little more upward movement.
Yeah.
But, he doesn't, so that's fine. He goes down easily, but it's fine because that was not actually the point, because Hercules sees what happens and he's like, damn, I guess women are people. And Zeus is like, that was your test and you did well, my boy.
Zeus is like, finally. Of all the gods to be like, yes, you have to go past your sexism, my child, fucking Zeus.
Yeah, like this doesn't track at all. This is totally like he's like this is a performance. He's like trying to act all high and mighty. He's being two-faced.
Yeah.
Hopefully Tekno doesn't still have the Wikipedia article open because she'd be like, man, I know what you fucking did. But whatever, I guess. Hercules is now promoted to godhood. That's it. Bye.
Damn.
Alright, moving along. Treasure Seeker. Stringer and Corona and Dobbin, that same sort of matchup again. Looking more Corona than Dobbin here. Amy and Tekno search an alien castle for the Ultra Gem on the service of Xenor Krell?
That's the character's name.
That's bootleg Link here, yeah.
Yeah.
They really couldn't come with a better name than Ultra Gem for this artifact. Okay.
So I saw this character and immediately thought of the Sega Genesis game Crusader of Senti. I don't know why, because I looked at the main character and they look nothing like this character. Then I thought of its pseudo sequel on the Saturn, Linkle Livel Story, or Linkle whatever, which the main character also doesn't look like this character. So I don't know where I got that from. And the rest of my notes on this story don't exist, because that was the most important part of the story to me.
The most important part of the story was a character who does not look like a character from two other games.
Exactly.
All right. Well, there's not much here anyway.
Not really.
We're in a castle. Xenor Krell here is bootleg Link. I'm just calling her that. There's a big
Might
snake.
as well be.
Amy drives it away with the power of shooting it.
That usually works pretty well.
So I would like you to notice that Xenor here was like about to get murked by the snake, and they saved him. Think about that for later. That's cool in the moment. But Xenor is super injured, and so Amy's got to go on their own.
Yeah,
it's like
Tekno's there treating the other one.
It's like, okay, that sure thing, Amy. That makes sense.
I mean, I will say this is like a great Tekno moment because, like,
sure, yeah,
Short Fuse, Sonic, they'd be like, "Are you kidding me? I won't stay behind." But Tekno,
that's true. Tekno's like, "Yeah, sure, Amy. You go have some fun."
Another established role that you could use Tekno for, they don't. There's no team medic on the Sonic freedom fighting team.
You're right.
That's true.
But yes, Amy goes all Indiana Jones style in this temple. There's a flame door trap, slide into some water, and that's it. There's only two things. Hey, there's the gem. Just kidding. Trapdoor into lava.
Of course.
Oops.
It feels like that should go before you grab the gem instead of after.
Hey, at least it's not snakes.
You're just gonna destroy the gem with that.
Yeah.
But what do I know? It gives Tekno a chance to play the hero and bail her out by flying.
Yeah, wait a second. So Tekno and Xenor just like followed and found a different way to the gem?
I carried you while I treated your wounds.
There you go.
I hid myself while I tried to repair myself. Yeah, it doesn't take long, though, to see that, like, oh, all of a sudden, now that she's safe, Xenor is acting extremely suspicious. Her face is completely transformed so that all of her expressions look like the Happy Mask salesman.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
That is true.
And yes, what a shock. She betrays them extremely quickly. Actually, just a self-interested thief who just wanted the gem's power for herself.
Great. All right.
Neat.
So, blast him into a wall, drown him in quicksand, burn him with fire. May as well just be one of the throwaway Tails villains.
Yeah, I mean, they're not...
Kind of feels like that, yeah.
Although, actually, the snake comes back and she disintegrates it on the spot, so that's something, at least.
Yeah, because apparently the power of the gem is specifically to just, like, transform things into other things.
Which is fucking wild.
So it's not disintegrating, per se.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
So it's basically the fucking Full Metal Alchemist Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
And on that route, actually, Amy's like, wow, you know, with that gem, you could be rich. You could turn this castle into silver. And then Xenor is like, I think, yes, that's a great idea. I'll do it right now. While you people are still alive.
Yes. She turns the castle to silver and then is like, oh, right, I was going to kill you. Fuck, I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. So now I'll shoot you. But silver is shiny, and so it reflects off the wall and hits her instead.
Uh-huh.
And so Xenor is killed.
Yep, just straight up killed.
You know, Xenor was going to get killed if Amy and Tekno didn't show up, too, and the gem wouldn't have gotten taken. So, like, I think the ring has still tried to kill them.
The ring could have done nothing, and it would have been fine.
That's true.
I never thought about that. And in fact, now it's worse, because I don't think that Amy and Tekno have killed anybody before.
I mean...
Yeah?
I don't know. I'd have to check. I mean, they didn't directly kill them, but still.
No, but they were involved.
Of the people that we've seen them fight, this is the first case. She shouts die. They clearly have a plan to reflect her attack back at her, and it kills her. So, like, that's about as active as that's happened.
Yeah, you're kind of right.
Yes, yeah.
Anyway, let's move forward. Let's do, I think, one of the better ones. Let's move along here to Gangster Trap, Stringer and Corona. Amy and Tekno arrive at the final step in their journey, a gray noir cityscape of constant mafia conflict.
The narration box clarifies that Tekno and Amy are traveling through the 4.5 dimension. Half a dimension? Okay.
What does that
It's
mean?
a reference to something. I know it is, but I can't figure out what.
Well, in any case, we're in a city. On Earth? No, I don't think so, at least. Looks like Earth, but it's not.
It does look like Earth.
Wherever it is, there's lots of mob activity.
Right.
It's also black and white.
Strangely, yeah.
They...
It's supposed to look noir.
Yeah. But yeah, we're getting shot at by well-dressed gangsters in old-timey cars. We got goons on the street.
Hell yeah.
Tekno's scanner says this world is uninhabited. What?
Remember, Tekno's scanner is a liar.
That's true.
That is true.
This is meant to be a clue as to the true nature of this place, but even if it was, that's also wrong, so...
Exactly.
Yeah, no, Tekno's scanner is just a fucking liar.
If you just said that there's no life forms around us, that would be something, but...
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah.
The cops arrest them, mistaking them for someone else, and they're accused of jewel theft.
The people are acting really strangely here. Like, even the person they saved was like, you're not supposed to be here, so, yeah, it's supposed to be odd.
Right, yeah.
But, apparently in Gangster Town, the cops are extremely easy to escape from by... Okay, I guess in real life cops can't fly, so whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
No one expects Tekno to fly without wings.
That's true.
Even without wings, I can still fly. Yeah, so they escape and go find more goons roughing up some private eye in an alleyway. And so they save him, but he's like, no, that's not how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, so at this moment, I am like, are they inside of a movie?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Not.
No, it's even stupider.
It gets weirder. Some more goons materialize out of the walls. Another car pulls up. And who steps out but Max fucking Gamble?
Oh my fucking god.
I hope Amy is ready to kill again.
Oh my gosh. No, real talk though, this is one time where Gamble showing up actually makes the story slightly more interesting.
This is why I like this story, is because for once it feels connected to something.
Fair, yeah.
Not completely connected, but yeah, apparently he followed them through the Ring of Eternity and it dumped him here. And, well, he said, welcome to my world before, so it's more literal than you might think.
Yeah, kind of a weak retcon. Like, they couldn't think of a better explanation than just, oh, he was just right there, behind them. But, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Anywho, they're
gonna get dumped in the river because he runs the place and he tells everyone to do that.
Yep. They're put into barrels filled with concrete.
Mobster classic.
Yeah. So, gonna push them in the lake to drown until the barrels just vanish around them. Because
remember, Amy and Tekno are very smart and they can figure out things very well.
Sure they can.
Yeah. Apparently, the way this planet works is that it just manifests whatever you want as reality.
I mean, I've seen this trope before. I don't hate it, but I don't understand how they deduce that.
Well, I mean,
that's my question.
That's what he meant when he said this is my world, but I don't... It's like, why would you expect that doesn't only work for him? Because, like, you'd think almost that this was, like, a place gifted to him, but no.
No.
So, yes, Max's brain created the mobster city, notably with 0 women, I might add.
Ooh.
But Amy and Tekno can just do the exact same thing, phase through his guys, make him disappear, or else conjure some generic-looking super folk to beat them back.
Yeah, why didn't they just, like, I don't know, make an army of freedom fighters or something?
Why not just imagine the entire planet, the entire city's gone?
Why not just imagine a bullet in his brain? Sorry.
This is supposed to be a mental battle, and I think, at least the way I would write this, although I'm probably giving them too much credit, is, like, the more influence you have, it would take more willpower to manifest that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, the psychic battle doesn't last long anyway, because there are 2 brains on the hero's side, and let's be honest, Max Gamble is really stupid.
Let's be honest, Max Gamble doesn't have a brain.
Possibly. So, yes, we end with the planet completely barren. Amy grabs Gamble, and Tekno's like, I wish for a portal home.
That's really contrived.
I guess it really can do absolutely anything. You guys want to wish for Robotnik to be harmless for the rest of his life or something?
That's not how it works. It creates things on the planet.
On this planet.
If it can create a portal off itself, then that means it created a portal out somewhere else.
Nah, you're overthinking it.
It depends on how that portal works. I'd like to point out that Gamble is like I'm just gonna make an army to conquer the universe as soon as you guys leave. Like, wait a minute. Why didn't you do that before? You were like alone for a while.
Yeah, bro just wanted his gangster fan fiction.
He wanted to roleplay an Alfred Hitchcock movie for the rest of his life.
Apparently, I mean, cool, I guess.
Alright, let's go the fuck home. This is full circle. Stringer and Flint. Amy and Tekno touch down on Mobius with Max Gamble in tow, only to find a different scheme going on with the Ring of Eternity. So, yeah, despite going in at the mountain, we arrive at Blueberry Hill Zone.
I really like that name, actually. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I like
sure. I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
A little bit of the gangster accent there.
Anyway, but it's not just a retcon that they moved there. In fact, the ring was moved by none other than FabiEnd Vane. I know you were just dying to see him again.
Yeah, they're gonna send him through to go on his dimension tour or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, his few remaining fans, were these some of the ones that kidnapped him? They don't look the same.
I don't think they're actually his fans.
Yeah. Fair enough. The other ones weren't either, though.
No.
Anyway. But they're here because they're going to send him on a multiverse concert tour across the cosmos. Really? No. They're just trying to get rid of him.
Which, I mean, damn, the girls stop them.
Yeah, I like that the people who are trying to get FabiEnd killed are like, what? These guys are trying to save FabiEnd. And then Gamble is like, what? No way!
Yeah. He's like, suddenly I've found my people. But apparently this washed up musician, getting him to be gone from the world permanently is so important to these people that they attack Amy and Tekno for not wanting to see him sent to a dimension where he might die.
Unfortunately, they're right. He shouldn't. He needs to be held responsible for his crimes against Mobian kind.
He needs to have more of his money taken. I do like that they also attack Max even as he protests, no, I'm a dishonest villain, honest. But Gorilla Man here doesn't buy it, and so he punches at him but accidentally misses and punches the ring off of its pedestal, sending it rolling down the hill where it explodes on some rocks.
I'm gonna be honest, the ring was more trouble than it was worth. They should just leave it broken.
Yeah, true.
Why did it explode? I guess it has technology in it, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah. So, conflict just kind of fizzles out. All these dudes are like...
fizzles out after that point.
Well, we can't kill Vane now. Yes, you can. You can't do it by sending him to another dimension. You can... There's more than one way to skin a whatever this thing is.
Yeah, there's more than one way to skin a pop star.
But no, more than just having that be the end of the series. No, Amy forces Gamble to help them rebuild the ring as penance.
Apparently, she just can decide if he gets a reduced prison sentence.
I mean...
Oh yeah, I never thought about that.
Sonic is not someone who cares about authority, so if Amy got him on her side...
Yes.
Now, that being said, would Sonic give fucking Max Gamble or FabiEnd Vane a reduced prison sentence? Probably not, but I don't know.
I doubt it.
Anywho, the ring awakes, it tells them they did a good job, and that's it. That's the Amy and Tekno comics.
These comics almost ended with FabiEnd Vane dying.
So, talk about a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was mostly bad, actually.
It was mostly, like, kind of nothing.
I don't know.
I'm counting that as bad.
I like them better than the
fair,
Tales comics in general.
Oh, well, a lot of things are better than the Tales comics.
Yeah. Basically everything we've covered is better than the Tales comics.
And I would say that the first Space Adventure arc was fun, because that connected in a meaningful way. Once it just became Location of the Week, it definitely got weaker.
That's the problem. It just became Monster of the Week.
Yeah. And it really...
And
like,
as much as I like Super Sentai, I don't want everything to be Monster of the Week.
Well, and importantly, like, Tales, at its worst, some of the time still felt like a Sonic comic.
These barely did.
These really didn't in a lot of cases.
Yeah, no.
Now, it didn't subject us to Mick McMahon so much. That part is okay. But it being off in its own little world made it difficult, and yeah. Amy and Tekno themselves were the best parts of it for me.
I mean, yeah.
True.
Amy and Tekno are great. I love them.
Yeah, they're nice. They've got a good dynamic. It's a shame though because like I was saying, the writers got kind of creative with the settings.
They
Like,
did.
nightmare, weird like manifestation of time itself. There are a few other ones I can't remember off the top of my head, but some of them were really strange. But then it's very simple. Oh, there's a problem. Oh, we'll just do this one thing, and now the problem's solved. That was it.
Basically.
Yeah,
It
for
was-
all of its
yeah.
high concept, it's not any more complex to figure out any issue.
Not really.
But we gotta press on. We're not gonna dwell on it, as I've said so many fucking times in this show that it's not even funny. So we will continue on here to a different story with Amy traveling through time and space.
Yeah.
But we are returning to Sonic's side of the story. There are only 20 stories left in the whole comic, and 2 of those were written years after the fact. So we are beginning here with Earth Spirits, Stringer and McMahon. Great, I set myself up with that. Sonic and Amy appear in the year 1860, where the indigenous people of the North American continent are facing aggression from colonizers. Oh dear.
Yeah. Especially coming from English writers.
It's a little weird, yeah. I don't even remember. This is me being bad at history. I don't even remember which parts of the land were actually incorporated territory at the time.
1860. That's pre-Mexican American War, I think. Yeah. No, it wasn't. We were already to the Pacific, I think.
Yeah, so I don't know where exactly this is. I don't think there's enough clues to really say.
Yeah, that's pre-Civil War, I think. So
Yeah. I guess native settlements were under attack no matter where you go, but
well, yeah.
Let's get through this as quickly as we can. This shaman type dude is trying to convince the chief of this tribe that they shouldn't be pushing aggression and should let the spirits help or try a peaceful solution. The U.S. was an overwhelming military force, couldn't be matched by number of weapons. They were never going to be convinced by words.
Not generally.
It's not the natives' responsibility to prevent their own mass murder to begin with.
Yeah.
Is this? It's like I don't. Like I'm saying, let's get through this as fast as we can. It's really hard to ignore though, because we're doing all this, and then anyway, here's Sonic and Amy to help them out.
Yeah, it just like Sonic and Amy just kind of show up. Amy also, what the fuck is she wearing?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, they put her in something that's supposed to look like Native American clothing.
Okay, well, let's push through.
Feels vaguely racist.
Okay, so before we get back to the story, I'd like to point out that the portals that opened as a result of Shanazar fusing with Mobius have just enabled the writers to start sending the heroes wherever they feel like again.
Yeah, basically.
Yes, they have. So there's some soldiers attacking the village here, and Shaman Friend, who doesn't have a name, calls for spiritual help. That's how we get Sonic and Amy here. So we're also imposing Sonic characters on their religious culture, so we're going to take that from them. Sonic spin attacks the general and sends the forces running, but he also clarifies we're not spirits, so that gives them pause to capture them and tie them up instead.
We're not spirits, we're furries.
But don't worry, because they're immediately punished for that, because the soldiers come back, but then something happens to them?
It's supposed to look like it's Sonic, but I guess they're implying the spirits are just directly interfering.
Is it meant to look like Sonic? It just looks like big rectangles.
So.
Well,
it does.
Sonic zooming around.
Though I thought that's what they were trying to make it look like, but then Sonic is still like in captivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something blows the guns out of their hands and throws some dudes off their horses, and the general's like, "Let's get out of here for good." Nobody talks like that, but they need a way to clarify the problem is solved, guys. They're not coming back. Except, I'm sorry, but history happened. They did come back. I know what happened in this country.
Yeah, they definitely came back. Yeah.
And yes, Sonic's like, nope, I didn't do that. I'm still tied up back here. So I guess it was the real spirits.
Yeah.
But then they still make a statue of Amy and Tekno. Oh, sorry. Amy and Sonic.
Yeah, we gotta...
I don't blame you for making that mistake.
Yeah, that mistake is, we got a totem pole with Amy and Sonic, which is This entire story feels vaguely racist.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think it's intentional racism, but it definitely feels like it.
Well, so clearly the writing is on the side of the victims.
Of course,
here. They're the ones being colonized. So it's like it's not like it's
right.
But like it's just it's insensitive. That's the word.
That's better. That's a better word.
This whole thing is like collar tugging, kind of that brand of offensive.
Yeah.
So we've addressed it. Let's move the fuck on. Let's do our final story for tonight. We don't have to deal with any more of this. This is Super Zone. Stringer and Elson. Sonic and Amy enter a zone chock full of superpowered heroes and villains. No, not that one. There's another one. We've already
there's
done
another
this.
one now.
We've already done so much of this.
I like on this first page, Sonic and Amy have very different faces when going through the portal, because Amy's just used to this at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, Tekno sitting this one out. She says, "Bring me a stick of rock." I had to look that up. Apparently it's some kind of British candy, kind of like a candy cane.
Oh, fascinating.
Okay.
Huh.
But yes, we arrive in the Super Zone where everyone's a superhero. It's My Hero Academia Zone.
And they don't make any reference to New Tech City, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they actually went to the special zone now. No, just
Sonic could have at least been like, oh god, not this again.
Yeah. Anywho, they get a
wasted opportunity.
They get approached by this guy, Muscle Man, the man with the six-pack stomach. That's not actually that impressive, you know. You do enough sit-ups, you can just get abs.
Yeah, I mean...
So I'd like to point out that, he comes up and he's just like, look at how cool I am. I'm so strong. And Amy's like, wow, but I bet you're an idiot.
Yeah,
she just calls him
really
stupid
rude,
for no
Amy.
reason.
You've been neglecting your mind, mister. Damn, Amy, okay.
Yeah. And then he's like, alright, bitch, well, what can you do? And she's like, I have super patience. You're not acting like it.
Yeah, she isn't. Normally, she does seem to have more patience.
Yeah, so, fuck that guy, I guess. Anywho, a guy falls from the sky and Sonic saves him, making me think this will be a story about someone stealing superpowers. But no, it just turns out he's part-time Powers Man.
I actually like that. That's amazing.
It's so stupid that I just can't help but love it.
I mean, that's the thing, is that this comic is so hard to judge. Because on the one hand, plenty of things in it are completely stupid. On the other hand, Sonic the comic is very self-aware.
It feels self-aware at times. Other times it does feel like they're trying to play things super straight.
I think Kitching is probably a better writer than Stringer.
Not usually do they feel like they're trying to play things straight, but sometimes with like, yeah, that's a joke, then you realize, oh god, the writers aren't joking.
Yeah. Anywho, part-time Powers Man invites Sonic and Amy to a superhero convention, but they don't care. Anyway, here's the superhero convention. Why do we have a superhero convention in the superhero city dimension?
That's a good question. Don't ask questions you're not ready for the answer for, too.
Yeah, Anyway, there's a dispute at the convention because apparently the superhero convention was scheduled on the same day and the same location as the supervillain convention.
Oh no.
So for a moment here, I actually thought that this was like a straight parody and they weren't ever going to play this serious, because I thought, oh, wait a minute, supervillain convention? Maybe the villains are just, it's like all just show and it's just costume and none of the heroes or villains really do any good.
They're all
or
just
bad.
cosplayers.
That's what I thought. Unfortunately, that was proven later. That would be way funnier.
That would be a lot funnier. It turns out, oh yeah, we're all just cosplayers.
I'm thinking of that side quest in Fallout 3 with the superhero cosplayers like harassing people in town, having their battles. Yeah, so the heroes and villains all start fighting each other. But like Lauren said, unfortunately, there is something to play straight here, because Sonic and Amy notice, hey, there's a meteor headed for the convention center.
Oh, fucking sure.
And they try to warn the people of the convention, but none of the flying heroes want to help. And I love that, what's this guy? Jack-O-Lantern is like, I just noticed that Meteor Destruction Man isn't here.
Maybe he's behind this.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
That's the same tier of gag as like Mega Man fans talking about the ultimate boss, Spiked Wall Man. But yes, Sonic runs outside to see a giant magnet above the center. So is that his tech or is that his power?
Yes. His power is a magnet.
Anyway, Sonic jumps in a window to find the guy, and yeah, he was trying to kill all the heroes and villains, which makes him a super duper villain.
Oh gosh, what despicable act.
So Sonic whaps him, and Amy uses some tech skills she got from Tekno and reverses the machine, pulling the meteor in.
Unfortunately, everyone survived.
So the day is saved and Sonic and Amy go home. That's it, everybody. Sonic Comic's over. Just kidding, there's 2 episodes left, but whew boy.
Just imagine if that's how Sonic the Comic ended and the comic just got canceled after this story.
Wow.
If there is any consolation, we only have 2 time zone stories left. So next week we will do a actual major good arc, and then the week after that we will do another one of those and be done with the story.
Holy
All right.
Yeah, there was
how we
there was
feeling
like
about the
a,
Amy stories?
I don't mind the last couple because they were at least connected, but that was it.
Fair. Pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. We've said everything we can say. This is.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot left to say.
I'm ready for Sonic the Comic to be done, but I am at least excited that we will have some actual frigging storytelling and plot to do for the rest of this series. So, with all that said, that's where we're going to be done for tonight. If you like this episode, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can reach us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week for another episode. I hope you have a great rest of your night, which I already said, and take care.